track, I can tell you, so it looks as though there's several cars stopped down there. I don't know whether anyone else got tied up in that. There is Bernoldi. Oh my dear, that's been a big accident indeed for Enrique Bernoldi. And look at that, somebody still just going past him on the grass. I don't know who that was. I think it might have been Michael, in fact, who just got... Oh, Heidfeld. It's crashed as well. He's involved in that. Dear, oh dear.
Hopefully we can see a replay of that, making sure everybody's okay, of course. But that does look like a hard hit for Enrique. As ever with these things, it'd be interesting if it's cause or effect, that if the right rear came off, which sent him into the wall, or if that was a result of hitting the wall. But he's done a fairly comprehensive job on that. I don't think they're going to have that ready for this afternoon, Ben.
You could be right there, Perry.
We've obviously got the red flag
for that one.
The session's being stopped.
But they will have a spare car, of course, and so they'll have to try and get him out of that. Arrow's just having such a tough
time. Look at this. You were right about saying going past, because that's the safety car's door. Yeah. The last time I remember a safety car being involved in an accident was at Monaco.
It's the medical car.
Yeah, that's right.
How does that get involved?
Well, I think the car was there dealing with Bernoldi, and I don't know if it was Heidfeld. I think it was Heidfeld who went to the left, basically squeezed between Bernoldi's damaged car and the barrier. And we'll have to wait and see to confirm that on the pictures, but that's what it looks like, as everybody was still trying to sort themselves out. And I'm very surprised, because the Reds, I think, must have been out by then.
Well, exactly. I don't know why Nicky was still going that quickly, because we'd been looking at Enrique for a good enough time.
Well, here's a replay of the latter part of the accident, rear wheel coming off. Look at the fire as well. That's an unusual sight in Formula One nowadays, you have to say. And the wheel coming off now. Michael, no, that's Rubens, I think, coming through. This was Heidfeld, and it was just after it happened. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Well, that was lucky. I mean, for Nicky himself, he's lucky not to have his head taken off in that. But what he was doing, not looking at the flags like that. I mean, it caught Michael out, but he did have just a little bit longer. In fact, I'm surprised it caught Michael out as it did.
Well, it was time, of course, for the medical car to get there. So the incident must, started a few seconds before that. There must have been yellows at least, even if the red hadn't been called for at that precise second. So really, Heidfeld could get into serious trouble for that. I mean, the remarkable thing is that the driver getting out of that car had only just opened the door and wasn't actually getting out of the car at that precise point. Otherwise, we could have had a really, really nasty incident on our hands.
Well, thank goodness we've just averted, or just seen what could have been a real tragedy there happily end.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's very worrying for everyone involved in Formula One, how an incident like that could happen. Remember, they have got lights in the cars this year. They do have the yellow light. When a yellow flag comes out somewhere around the track, they actually get a yellow light in the car, and when the reds come out, red light in the car. So I don't quite know what happened there for Heidfeld. It all happened very quickly, and perhaps nobody saw that the accident had happened for Bernoldi, and therefore perhaps the flags weren't out at Heidfeld. But the medical car was there, so they knew what was going on.
If we've got time, I think we're going to have time. If we can be good to see that once again, to just try and see how Enrique did go off, because we've not really seen where he lost the car for whatever reason. If we can get back to that.
Well, I have to say, very dramatic indeed. Let's take another look.
This is just the aftermath, of course.
Rear wheel comes off. The tether's unfortunately not keeping that wheel on, and despite the extra strength, now we've got flags that the red was already out there. The red was already on display at that point. He should have had reds, and the door opens and through comes Heidfeld. Oh.
But it wasn't quite waving, and there was a marshal standing in front of it. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a flamboyant wave, look out, there's danger here.
Well, that was the moment that Heidfeld came through. But we saw that a little time after we'd seen the wheel bouncing. There was definitely several seconds gap. And there,
I think the important thing is that sure, they got the red flag at that point, but was the message communicated to the previous marshal's post? So did Nicky go through one or two red messages, if you like, and to then find out from his telemetry if the red light came on his steering wheel, which picks it up? So it may have just all happened so quickly, and he didn't see the red flag from that downhill section.
Sid Watkins, the safety delegate of the FIA, the medical man who's been so important in recent years in terms of improving safety, That's the medical car. So it was actually the safety car. Well, they've switched cars, in fact. Alex Ribeiro, the driver, another Brazilian. And they get that car back out there is the one that has been damaged. And that really is a very, very frightening incident. Shows you how quick they are getting to the scene, though, Perry, if nothing else. I mean, they were to Bernoldi so fast. The car is parked down at the end of the pit lane, and that area of the track is where the incident happened, down at the end of the pit lane. So they were right on it right away, but unfortunately so was Heidfeld, and he was still at speed.
I'm trying to really completely work out what the benefit of the medical car stroke safety car was coming onto the track like that in front of the arrows. I'm not completely sure because the cars were coming from behind, so if it's trying to act as a shield, Bernoldi's car certainly wasn't going anywhere.
Well, he's okay. Enrico Bernoldi walking back into the pits. This session still has some 3 minutes left to run of actual track time, but it's going to take a little while to clear up the mess down there from the incident, and we still don't know exactly what caused Bernoldi to go off. We're not clear whether he made contact with something or whether there was a failure on the car, but whatever it was, we very nearly had a horrible incident down there at the first corner.
And my car was a little bit on the side of the track, and Heidfeld came really quickly. I was going out of my car because my car was in fire, and he avoided my car, but he hit the medical car.
But why did you go off in the first place?
I went off, I just touched the curb a little bit too much, and I got a wheel spin, and I spun there. There's not much area to go off there.
How much time passed before you came to rest and Heidfeld hit the safety car?
A lot of cars has passed there already. Was maybe 5 or 6 cars have gone through there, and then came him. He was probably the last car.
Okay, thanks very much.
Well, thanks, Peter. That cleared up why he crashed.
Well, you will have noticed there, Perry and Ben, and just about everybody else watching, there were no other reporters anywhere near Bernoldi there. Only Peter Windsor gets interviews like that. He's doing a cracking job out there, and I'm sure we'll continue to do so. In the meantime, plenty of question marks still surrounding that event. What was the medical car doing there quite so quickly?
Well, I think that's a good thing. I think that the fact that the medical car was there quickly is a good thing. That shows you that they're responding quickly to an incident. What the worry is, why was Heidfeld still going so quickly? We're looking at the replay of the wheel going across. A number of other cars had gone through at this point, and it was Heidfeld. I don't understand why Heidfeld was still so much on the limit. Michael Schumacher, you saw him go through the picture just a moment before that, and he had time to slow down and go through on the other side. So I don't understand why Heidfeld was still going that quickly and why he wasn't able to respond and slow down in time and avoid the medical car.
The only thing is, though, when you saw Michael come up to that seemed to catch him by surprise.
There's Michael, but he's not going that quickly. He's not on the limit, is he? Whereas Heidfeld is on the limit. He's on a quick lap there. He's come through the first 2 corners really fast, and I don't understand why he's going so quickly and everyone else seemed to have backed off.
Well, at least he chose the right exit at the end of the day rather than hitting the arrows. But yeah, exactly. I mean, that's going to be looked into. Yeah, that's going to be really looked into.
But if you can take Barrichello's incident yesterday exiting the pit lane as a precedent, he's going to be in trouble because Barrichello hardly had any chance to see that red light, and yet he had to accept his second fastest time.
Very different story altogether, wasn't it? I mean, that was a red light at the end of the pit lane. There was there was an incident on track, but it wasn't a major accident. And as he went out, the red light changed. We could see that on our coverage, and I feel sorry for Rubens on that one. But a rule's a rule. This time, the FIA will know exactly when the red light went on. They've got the coverage. I do find it difficult to understand why Heidfeld was the only one who seemed to be going quite that quickly. We saw on the replay there was 1 or 2 other cars that had actually gone through past Bernoldi's car before that, and they were waving a striped flag down there to show a slippery surface.
They were waving the wrong flag.
Yeah, just looking at the coverage, they were waving the slippery surface flag initially before the red, but the red was definitely out by the time that Heidfeld came through that corner. So, I mean, maybe the red lights came on as he turned into the left-hand part. That's the center S. So maybe he was already committed through the left-hand part as the red light came on. He wouldn't have necessarily seen the red light come on. Here we are. Take another look. The Toyota goes through, the Jag goes through, the slippery and yellow flags being waved down there. He goes to get the red flag, the marshal, brings the red out, and then through comes Heidfeld. Well,
it's going to be interesting to see what the officials and everybody at the circuit make of that, because, you know, that, in my opinion, that was the wrong flag to wave. That shows a slippery surface rather than a completely smashed up Formula One car. It's going to be interesting to see what the marshals post before that one was displaying to the drivers. And I think, really, that's going to be Nicky Heidfeld's only way out of getting into serious trouble here, because, you know, if it's a slippery surface flag, then basically, as a driver, you decide, you know, it's an advice flag. You decide if you're going to take it flat or lift or whatever. But it might have transmitted after Nicky had gone past to go red. We can surmise all we like on this.
And of course, you know, don't forget a Formula One car, when it's travelling at speed and he was on a quick lap, you cover so much distance in such a short space of time. And when they went to get that red flag, you know, notice that the marshals almost withdrew the other flags. Now, if Nicky had been turning in at that precise point, he almost wouldn't have seen a flag. But I think that the red lights came on at about the point he would have committed to the first part of the CNRS.
He's looking at a replay of the incident himself.
Yeah, that's right. It's still, you know, it's still a shock that a number of cars had got through there, and Nick was still so committed. But I'm sure he's trying to explain that. There he is, Heidfeld, talking to the team, trying to